Hi, in this I thought I'd make a roundup of the things I found really useful over the past 12 months. Not things that make sound, but those little utilities that you didn't know you need, or you found out you needed, or when you're doing something that's a little bit of a pain, then you find a simpler, cleaner, much easier solution to doing stuff. So stuff I didn't think I needed, but I now can't do without. And I'm going to start off with this. It's the cheapest on the list. It's the Cre8Audio Nano-U. Cre8Audio make all sorts of lovely little useful utilities like this. It's the Nano Patch X, and this is for integrating effects pedals into your Eurorack setup effectively. And they make this. This is the Mini Bay version 2. It's a tabletop patch bay. It's got 40 patch points on the front, and it's got larger 6.5mm sockets on the back. For use with all your standard stuff like effects, mixers and synths, and you use these smaller patch points to decide where everything's going. But the one I've been using this year, and the one that I've really picked out as being something that has just stunned me really, is the Nano-U. And this has got 4 inputs. It's got 2 to increase the gain, 2 that will attenuate the gain, because if you've got something like Eurorack, it's got a really hot signal, so you might need to increase the gain of something that isn't Eurorack, or in this case for 3 and 4, you might need to reduce the gain from something that is Eurorack to send it to an effects pedal, for example, that isn't Eurorack. It also works with CV as well. You can sum channels 1 and 2 and channels 3 and 4, so it works like a little audio CV mixer. You can also phase invert. We've got a phase invert button there, and we've got a fast and a slow envelope follower, so you can turn audio into CV and do a few little tricks with it as well. And I've just found myself using this over and over again since I got it. Every time I've got a weird collection of synths, drum machines and whatever on the table for a video, this comes out, and the metronome comes out if there's any timing involved. So yeah, genius little product, and it's steel at £50. Next up is the Vaski Lights Eurorack modules. That's these 2 little units on the end here. Now I know this is a bit of a mad one because nobody needs cool little flashing lights. They look great and you really don't think you need them. But even though these are cool little lights, they're not just cool little lights. They've got a couple of functions on them that I've used over and over that I've not had in anything before. Firstly, it's got a tuner on it. So I haven't got a tuner in the Eurorack system. Just having one sitting there, I normally use my phone, so just having one sitting there is really supremely useful. And also it's got like a little CV level indicator. It can be bipolar or unipolar. So if you're wondering whether something's sending a signal, plug it into this and it'll tell you. This is a nice little setup showing you what you can do with the Nano-U actually, but I'm using it to demonstrate the lights. So this is on a wave, slow wave. So that's just a nice pretty thing. Spectrum analyzer, a bit higher up, very low down. A little bit of clipping you can see coming in there, so turn the Nano-U down. The Jupiter 8's odd in that it sends a really hot signal, so we've got to actually turn that down for the Eurorack, which is completely strange. So yeah, you've got lots of different options in this. Loudness. Let's crest. Then there's the tuner, so we're in tune, almost. Just let's detune it so you can see it detuning. Play another note. So that is just super handy. And I've got the second one here plugged into this just to show you really. This is the CV that you get from the Nano-U. So this is just indicating that the CV is coming out. We do have bipolar on there. That's unipolar, bipolar. So it'll always be higher than 1. But this is just a nice little setup to show you that the Jupiter 8, which is normally, you know, renowned for being really nice and beautiful and analog. But I'm going to stick it through the Meridian filter, which has got this beautiful little crush on it. So these are sort of things you can't do, or you see can't do, you can do, but with a lot more hassle normally than just putting the Nano-U. But yeah, the Vaski Lights, lovely, aren't they? Quite handy, and they look pretty. We are fickle, aren't we? And these patch points on the bottom can be figured to be stereo or an input and a through. I've got them as input and a through at the minute. I've been using them in mono, but they can be stereo, obviously, because you've got things like the mid and side in there as well. But at €140, they're not the cheapest thing you're ever going to buy, but they're by no means a really expensive bit of kit. They're a really handy and cool looking little bit of kit. Next up then is the Midronome, or the NOME-2 from Simantonic. Now this isn't new for 2025, but if you've been watching the channel, you'll have seen this pop up on a few occasions. And it's a timing hub and integrates different kit using MIDI, DIN sync, and audio clock. And if your DAW can accept MIDI clock, this can control the timing of your DAW. They don't all, Logic doesn't, but Ableton does accept MIDI clock. They're the two I use, so they're the two I know, so they're not all the same. But there's also the U-Sync plugin for this, and that can send the MIDI timing from your DAW into this. So using the MIDI timing from your DAW, you can use this to sync all your weird other little bits of kit like your Eurorack or a DIN sync drum machine, whatever else. Here's a little video I did for Instagram showing the U-Sync plugin controlling the Midronome, and that creates the clock for everything else. MIDI clock from your DAW is infamous for jitter and bad timing, and that's on all DAWs, not just anyone in particular really. But for DAWless, this is flawless. They can use that if they want. This has been updated since I got mine. It's now called the NOME-2, so don't be confused that it's yellow and not red like this one. So yeah, the NOME-2, £222 and worth every penny. Okay, this one isn't a utility. It's the DF8 Analog Dynamic Multi-Filter from Stylophone. This is stereo or dual mono filters, and you can use the incredibly lively filter it's got on here from the Stylophone Generate, as well as the recreation they've made of the filter on the Mutonics Mutator, which is one of the most revered filter units of the past few decades. And yes, it's Eurorack compatible, but as you can see, it does come in its own box, so it is a standalone little stereo filter. And for just £229, you're getting something similar to what would cost, or what does cost, around £1,500 to £2,000 for an original Mutator. And this takes things a lot further than the original Mutator. I know it's not a clone of the original Mutator, I'm just mentioning it because since those chips died out and they stopped making the Mutator, people have been looking for a replacement. So this does work well as that, as well as for other things, which is what I'm trying to get across here. We've got an onboard delay, we've got a sample and hold circuit, we've got noise, we've got the envelope followers. You had envelope followers on the original Mutator. I'll stop mentioning the original Mutator now because it is its own thing. It's standalone, it comes in its own box. So it's an amazing little tabletop stereo filter. It sounds wonderful, and it's a great companion to their drone synth because that didn't have VCAs and this does. So together we can have either two amazing single oscillator monosynths or a dual oscillator stereo duophonic, really flexible synth. We've got two filter types. We've got the Generate, and we've got a fully analog recreation, as I say, of the classic 2045 filter and some original variations in there. Giving us 8 filter settings. Got bandpass, high pass, low pass, and the rest of it. We've got 2 independent ADSR envelopes. We've got the gates on board. We've got the VCAs. We've got the delay, as I say. We've got the sample and hold. We've got the noise. So there's a lot more going on in this than there are in most filters. And oh yeah, it can be battery powered as well. And it's got an onboard speaker. So if you're looking for a flexible stereo filter, this is well worth a look. And then finally, this is the most expensive thing we've got here. It's the Cre8Audio Assembler. And it's a really surprising little mixer, especially for the price. It's got Pittsburgh modular electronics inside. I think if this was a Pittsburgh boutique module, it'd cost you well over twice what you're paying for this, because it's a Cre8Audio product, and Cre8Audio work with Pittsburgh Modular. So it's got Cre8Audio's supply chain efficiencies in there and the Pittsburgh electronics. I spoke with Richard Nichols from Pittsburgh Modular a couple of years ago in Superbooth, and he explained the relationship between Pittsburgh and Cre8Audio. I'll find this link and put it in the description for you if you're interested in finding out more about that. And this is basically a Pittsburgh Modular mixer. We've got 10 inputs, 2 stereo sends, and 1 mono send. We've got a Q mix in there. We've got a separate Q mix output as well. We've got 2 stereo channels. That's inputs 7, 8, 9, and 10. And channels 1 and 2 have even got their own EQ. And on this, we've also got this amazing 20 dB boost, which creates this really sort of thick analog saturation vibe, really beefs stuff up, especially drums. And again, like the Stylophone, it comes in its own little box. It's a standalone mixer if that's what you want. You don't have to be a Eurorack aficionado to make use of this. If you're going to use it with other things, for example, you will need to get yourself some 3.5 to 6.3 millimeter cables that fit in there. But other than that, it will work for anything, and it's just really nice and neat. So there you have it, 5 top things I found really useful this year that will be staying with me for the foreseeable future. You will see them popping up left, right and centre over the next few years. So I thought I'd step away from the synths for a minute and just look at some of the other bits and bobs that help bring the synths all together. So I hope that was of some use to somebody somewhere. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe, ring the bell, join me over on Patreon. I've got patches, I've got samples, I've got tutorials and other little bits and bobs on there. Also take a look at my StarskiCar.com website. Again, patches, samples, stuff to buy, free stuff, cheap stuff. Always nice when people pick up even some of the cheaper bits and bobs, the cheaper patches or the cheaper sound packs. It all really does help to support the channel. So I hope you enjoyed that. Here's to a nice 2026 and some more nice, useful, utilitarian utilities. And I will see you next time.